Hey everyone, finish watching the next Pounders SPD episode, Samurai. Kruger is giving Jack a lesson in sword fighting. Jack isn't nearly as skilled as Kruger, but thinks if he had the Shadow Saber, he could win. Kruger tries to explain to Jack it's not the sword, but the one who wields it. Grum, meanwhile, is planning to bring an ancient samurai warrior to his time to fight the Rangers. He tells Morgana his backstory. The samurai was an alien, Katana. His ship crashed in Kyoto, where he was taught to be a samurai. At SPD headquarters, Bridge is trying to read minds. He reads Jack's mind successfully. Jack is still thinking about the Shadow Saber. Kruger calls the Rangers together. Grum has brought Katana to their present. Jack asks if he can use the Shadow Saber, and Kruger denies him again. The Rangers head to Japan. They find Katana attacking cars. He thinks they're trying to invade the country. The Rangers order him to surrender, and he attacks them. Jack drops his weapon, and Katana stops to hand it back to him. He says he won't fight an unarmed opponent. So what about the cars earlier? I guess maybe he assumes the cars themselves are the threat. He does stop attacking once the people inside run away. Bridwing shows up and sends out Crybots. Katana assumes the Crybots must be the Rangers' enemies, and since they aren't attacking him, he considers them allies. He leaves, and the Rangers defeat the Crybots. Bridwing tricks Katana into thinking the Rangers are the bad guys. Bridwing then sends out a robot he says is to defend Kyoto, but then he uses it to steal buildings. Alright. Katana wanders through Kyoto and finds a shrine where he used to live. The Rangers find him and try to arrest him again. He easily bests them and leaves. Kruger and Kat, meanwhile, are driving the Delta Command base to Japan. Maybe there's a bridge or something that connects California to Japan in the future. Once there, they use the Zords to stop the robot. Kruger tells Jack to go after Katana, but Jack insists Kruger give him the Shadow Saber. Eventually, Kruger gives in. Jack finds Katana and almost convinces him that he wants to help him get back to his own time, but Katana is skeptical. He challenges Jack to a duel. The others, meanwhile, destroy the robot. Jack manages to defeat Katana in the duel and uses Judgment Mode on him for some reason. I'm not sure exactly what it's judging him on, but it finds him not guilty. The time portal opens and Katana returns through the portal. Later, the Rangers have returned to New Tech City, where Kruger informs the Rangers that Grum has raided a mine while they were gone, and he may be planning something. Kruger reveals to Jack that he switched the Shadow Saber with another sword he found in a closet. Jack finally understands Kruger's lesson. It's not the sword, but the one using it. I hope Kruger believes in his lesson too, because this episode ends on Jack breaking his sword by bending it backwards. This episode is far better than I remember, but Jack's role here is a bit childish. Jack doesn't feel like an adult here, more like an immature teenager. This plot may have worked better for a character like Connor in last season, or Dustin in Ninja Storm. For Jack, it feels wrong. He has had poor judgment occasionally in the past, like when he put the Rangers through intense training while not joining himself. Wanting to use Kruger's sword so bad is a very strange point. It's not even like he thinks the sword is cool or it has any special abilities. He just has this nebulous concept in his head that it's unbeatable. Jack was initially established as utilitarian when he threw away that metal thing way back in the premiere. With that kind of personality, it seems like he'd be okay using whatever weapon is available. Moving on from that, Grum's plan was pretty stupid. Instead of enlisting help from loyal minions, he summons a being who most definitely wouldn't side with him. While Bridwing is initially able to fool Katana, eventually he would figure things out and could potentially turn on Grum. The setting of Japan was an odd choice. Only the Zord footage is really necessary to be set there. It's all inconsequential. Zord footage of anything from anywhere could have worked just as well. I think Jack should have been sent to Japan alone while the others remained in New Tech City. Maybe the reason Kruger is training Jack is specifically because of Katana. There's a few scenes of Katana being confused in the modern world of Kyoto, but there's not much focus or pathos there. All of it could have easily been cut. I think Katana could just have easily been brought to the present in New Tech City rather than Japan. He could still be confused by the modern world. Or, and even better, I think they should have focused more on him remembering his old life when he finds his old home. There's potential for drama there, but it's all quickly brushed over. The scene with Jack using Judgment Mode on Katana was odd. What I think they should have done here is have Jack explain to Katana what the Morpher does, give it to Katana to use on him. Katana asks the Morpher if Jack is guilty of invading Kyoto, and it would say not guilty. There's still the problem of Katana having to just take Jack's word on the Morpher's function, but I think this would establish trust between them a lot better. The final thing to mention is a little ball of light following the Rangers at the end. It's not explained or even paid attention to. I imagine back in 2005, as this was airing, this must have been pretty confusing and just weird out of nowhere. So, that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.
If I had that Shadow Saber, I could probably beat you. If Kruger let me use the sword, I could beat him. Let me have the Shadow Saber.
But let me use the Shadow Saber. Just let me have your sword.
I want the